Yo, what's going on, dudes? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are outside Cupar Motorcycles again, because today we are riding a new Suzuki GSX-8S.
Today's video was made possible because of Cupar Motorcycles. They have a great selection of new and used bikes, as well as all styles of riding gear to help keep you warm and safe throughout the year. Whatever it is you're looking for, Cupar Motorcycles can help you out. They also do nationwide delivery on all of their stock, including their motorbikes. They also have professional mechanics on site to help keep your bike in top riding condition. If you're looking for that new ride for the summer, pop in and see them. If you're not able to visit them direct, you can give them a call about any of their bikes and they'll have it delivered direct to your door. I'll leave all their details and social media information in the description below.
This is a cracking looking little bike. I've been looking forward to this for a while, so I'm not going to stand here and talk too much because I want to get on it and go for a wee ride. Oh, she's comfy. So it comes with a TFT dash, you know, all the usual new stuff with Suzuki. No need to hold the clutch in. Quick shifter as well, which I'm looking forward to using. I do like the quick shifters. So we're going to take it for a wee ride for a couple of hours today. We'll stop, have a wee look about, go over some of the specs. It feels really smooth, really smooth. Quick shifter as well, so you can just dunk it down without the clutch. So this is the latest model in the Suzuki range. This is the GSX-8S, not the GSX-8, but it's an 800cc or 776, something like that, parallel twin with about 83-84 brake horsepower. I mean, it feels pretty responsive, it's an 800cc bike, so it's not going to be slow anyway. It's not massive in front of you, it's not like you're sitting on the GSX-S 1000 or anything like that. It's not this big massive fat tank, it's quite slender. I think it's actually a wee bit slimmer than my SV tank. I'm sure my SV tank's just a little bit wider. Maybe it's just these things, these little kind of fairing bits that are kind of throwing me off here, just actually how wide it is. Nice TFT dash, nice and bright, nice and simple. Riding position is very comfortable. My hands are nice and relaxed on the bars. The bars feel nice and wide, they're not too narrow. So far it feels like a nice easy bike to ride. It definitely pulls, I'm in 4th gear there, and yeah, it was no trouble at all, so you'd have absolutely no problem overtaking those Sunday drivers. Comes with the usual stuff, traction control, ABS, you can get the different modes, so you can turn the traction control down or up or off. We'll go over all of this later on when we stop and have a look at the bike, but for now we're just going to spend a bit of time on it, see how it feels. Mirrors look fine, they're pretty much Suzuki generic mirrors. They do what they need to do, they go out far enough. An 800cc bike, or just shy of 800cc, so you're not going to win any drag races against a Hayabusa or a 1000cc sports bike. Why would you want to do that on a bike like this anyway? This would be a great commuter bike, or just your normal, I'm going to go out for a run this weekend. This bike would be great fun for that. And it's super comfortable as well. It is so comfy. Back brake feels like a back brake, it doesn't feel like it's anything super special. The front brake's really good. I mean, it's got a nice purr off it. It does have a nice purr, It is quiet though, I will be honest. So I was doing my research on this bike yesterday. The things that I've looked at on this bike, there's so many positives about this bike, but there's one thing that a lot of people keep coming back to, and it's that. Probably shouldn't have done that as a fan pass, you might not have heard it. It's the exhaust. A lot of people don't like the exhaust. It's not, I'm not talking about cosmetically, I'm talking about how it sounds. A lot of people think it's kind of quiet, and I can kind of see where they're coming from. It's not bad, it doesn't sound bad, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad sounding bike, but I see what people are saying by it's just a wee bit quiet, so possibly in the future aftermarket exhaust and stuff like that. I mean, personally for me, it doesn't really bother me. If I was to jump on this straight out the showroom just now, absolutely fine. I've got no issues with the exhaust whatsoever. So for reference, I am 5'9" you know, I'm not on the higher end of that, you know, I'm kind of like 5'8", 5'9", and I can get the balls of my feet down really easily, not an issue. And the foot pegs are really nicely positioned, so if you're a slightly shorter rider, you'll be absolutely fine on this bike. Even if you're taller, I don't think there'll be an issue either. So far, feels absolutely fine. I don't see any issue with someone who's just passed their test jumping on this bike. You know, I've always said, but it's just my personal opinion, you know, not everybody agrees with that, and that's absolutely fine. You know, when someone passes their test, I always think they should start off with a slightly smaller, no, I'm not talking about smaller like 400cc or something like that, you know, jump on like a 600 and then kind of build up your confidence and then move on to a bigger bike if you see fit. But I don't see any issues with someone jumping on this. There's one thing that I would like on this bike that isn't there, and that's the USB. But that's just my personal preference. I think every bike should have it, purely because I use GoPros and I use sat nav and stuff like that. It's good to have something there. But you know, you can add an aftermarket one, you know, they're not hard to fit, you know. But in situations like this where I'm recording, I'm relying on the GoPro battery, which will probably die in about 20 minutes. I'm going to have to stop and change the battery. I normally go round these, but I'm just wanting to see without, oh, that's, oh, the front was a wee bit solid, but the back was fine. I don't actually mind the exhaust too much, to be honest. I really don't. I would like it a little bit louder and a little bit more kind of oomph to it, you know, because it does sound a little bit subtle. It's 200 kilos, I want to say, from what I remember, 202, something about that ballpark. So it's not really a super heavy bike. It's not the lightest bike in the world either, but it's not nowhere near as heavy as some of the bikes out there. I do like the look of the kind of GSX series, you know, this kind of aggressive front end that they've got going on. I kind of like it. A lot of people don't. They don't like the kind of double headlight kind of look. I think it looks kind of cool. It's almost like a kind of transformer kind of look, isn't it? In terms of miles to the gallon with this, on paper it says 67, I think 67. Obviously it depends how you ride it and where you ride it. Great day to be out on a bike today as well. Oh my god, it's so nice that the better weather's here. You're starting to notice it on the roads as well. There's so many more bikers out, which is nice. Yeah, I mean, I've got the balls of my feet down, absolutely no problem here, you know. There's absolutely no issues. Probably more, I can get my left foot flat and the ball of my right foot down, so that gives you a rough idea of the height of this bike, and I'm 5'9". So yeah, so it's a nice comfortable height. So there she is. She's not a big bike, is she? And she's not. That's the double kind of headlight. I mean, if you've seen the kind of GSX series, you know the kind of light I'm talking about. I kind of like it. I think it's kind of cool looking, but it's not a big bike. It isn't a big bike for an 800cc, you know. Yeah, there's the exhaust. I mean, it's a little short exhaust that's on it, so I'm not really too sure in terms of aftermarket. But I mean, I think it sounds alright. It's not a bad sounding bike by any means. I would like it a wee bit louder. Not something that's going to annoy the neighbours, but a wee bit louder would be nice. In terms of width, you know, like I said, it's not a thick tank. You know, the tank isn't overly aggressive. You know, it's quite a slim tank, to be honest. I think it feels a wee bit wider because of these. It's a TFT dash, so we've seen these before on previous Suzuki's that we've ridden. The controls are exactly the same, mode, up and down switch. Alright, so we'll go over it briefly. It's got, you know, the usual traction control and your power mode. So when it's highlighted white, we can change from TC off up to TC3. As for the SDMS, that's just basically your power, how much power output you've got. Obviously A, B and C. A being full power. Pressing down obviously goes through all the usual things. You can, if you hold down, you can reset things like the trip, all that sort of thing. If we hold the up button, that'll take us in to the actual settings, so we can see all the info that's what we've got here. So what does that say for next service? 443 miles. As for settings, what we got? Brightness, daylight, unit, date, time, default, system info. It's pretty straightforward. There's nothing too complicated on this. Right, we were averaging, coming from Cupar Motorcycles to here, we were averaging 59 miles to the gallon. So that was an average. So that's the dash. Pretty straightforward, nice and simple to use, nice and simple to look at. It's got everything you need really, isn't it? So what we'll do is we'll go over some specs of the bike. So we've went over the engine already. It's 776cc. It is a parallel twin, and it's putting out about 83-84 brake horsepower. It's got a nice bright TFT 5-inch dash. I really like these dashes. So it comes with a 14 litre tank capacity, which isn't the biggest, but like we said, the tank isn't the biggest tank anyway. You can see that when you're sitting on it. 202 kilos of kerb weight and an 810mm seat. So it isn't a super tall bike. So I mean, if you're looking for something that's a lot of fun, got a decent amount of power, and it's not super tall, you know, definitely go and check it out. Go and have a wee seat in it. I think it's super comfy, and it's always a bonus where you can get most of your feet down. You know, it just gives you that extra confidence on the bike. You know, you're not kind of trying to straddle it or whatever. It's super easy to stop up or, you know, kind of walk backwards with it to get it parked. Nice and simple. So I'm just having a wee look about online just now, just trying to find out more specs on this bike. So I don't know how accurate this is. This is coming from Bennett's, alright, and according to Bennett's, the accessory list is as follows for this bike. So you can get a fly screen, so if you wanted to kind of cut down the wind a wee bit, you can get a belly pan for underneath, you can get soft side cases, 20 litres each. You get heated grips, mirror extenders. I don't think you need mirror extenders, to be honest. I suppose if you're quite a broad-shouldered rider, maybe that could be an option. It's got crash bronze, billet brake and clutch levers, which is kind of cool. LED indicators, two-tone seat, pillion seat cover, so you could get rid of that and get a nice, you know, shiny cover to match the rear. USB socket, we were talking about that earlier on. If I was going to order this bike, yeah, I'd be ordering one with a USB socket, and anodised bar ends if, you know, if you wanted to go along that line. So far there seems to be a few accessories for it. No mention of aftermarket exhaust yet. Again, that could come in the future. I'm not entirely sure about that yet. The front discs are dual 310s with 4-piston Nissan radial mount calipers, which they look alright. I mean, they look not too bad. I mean, they definitely do the job. The same with the rear, that's got the Nissan on it as well. It's an alright bike. Obviously there's a lot of competition in that kind of 800 kind of market, isn't there? I mean, it's not the only bike that's going to be available for this kind of engine size. So I mean, it depends on what it is you're looking for. I mean, I think it's a cracking little bike. It is a really nice little bike. There's a few extras at the moment. There's not a whole lot for it, but obviously, again, in time that could change. You know, exhaust, it's personal preference. It sounds fine, it's just a wee bit quiet. 3 modes for traction control, 3 maps for the powers, you know, ABC, you know, all the usual kind of ABS and stuff like that. Obviously it's a modern bike, it's going to have that anyway. It's a nice bike to ride. I think it's a nice bike to look at. You know, I do like the naked bikes, and I do like this kind of aggressive look that they're going for. Not everybody likes it, you know, I get that, but I think it's kind of cool looking. I really do like it, and I do like the twin lights. You know, it does kind of give it quite a mean and futuristic look, doesn't it? I didn't actually check what colours it comes in. I'll put that up on screen. I'll find out and you can see what colours it comes in. But yeah, I think black and blue, it looks cool. I think it suits the black and the blue. It's a nice wee bike. It's nippy, you know. It definitely doesn't hang about. It's a lot of fun to ride. It's very comfortable. You know, there's 1 or 2 things that are, you know, could be a bit of an issue to some riders. Some riders might not bother about it. The exhaust being one of them. You know, that's, again, it's personal preference. Front suspension's a little bit stiff for my liking. Clutch is nice and light, so if you are having to do a lot of slow manoeuvre stuff, you're not going to be, you know, cramping up super quick. If you're looking into a bike of this kind of engine size, go and check it out. You know, definitely don't just go, I don't want that, you know, I'm not interested in that bike. You know, go and check it out, go and have a wee ride on one, sit on one, see what you think. You know, give them a call, go and see Cupar, and they'll be more than happy to sort you out with a wee test ride on this or any other bike that you like in the Suzuki range. They've also got a good selection of pre-owned bikes. You know, if we want to go down that road, they've got quite a lot of them available to look at. Take it on the motorway, see how we get on with that, see how it feels. Feels fine. You know, I'm getting hit by the wind a little bit, as to be expected, but yeah, it's got enough torque and enough power to kind of, you know, overtake and pull you whatever it is you need to do. You know, and we're sitting at 65 in 6th gear on the motorway, and we're averaging about kind of 46 miles per gallon. I mean, it feels kind of similar to my SV. Maybe a bit quicker actually. Pulling power, it's definitely a wee bit quicker, but you have to expect that. Bigger engine, more horsepower, a few more horsepower anyway, not massively different. And like I said earlier on in the video, I don't see why there's any reason why someone who's just passed their test couldn't get on this. And as far as I'm aware, I'm sure this bike is A2 compliant, so even if you pass your A2 test, you could get this restricted, you know, on your A2 license. And yeah, you could have some fun on this in an A2 license, that's for sure. But as always guys, a big thanks to Cupar Motorcycles for inviting me along and getting me sorted out for a wee review on this bike. I've been looking forward to it for so long. But yeah, you might not be able to tell, but I've got a smile on my face. It's a cool wee bike to ride. But I'll leave all the details in the description below. Go and check out the website. If you're in the area, drop in and say hello. But anyway dudes, hopefully you've enjoyed this little review. I just wanted to mention, you know, obviously the channel's taking a little bit of a step back at the moment, just, you know, family reasons with the kids and stuff. So I'm trying to get probably 1 or 2 videos a month done at the moment, and it's going to be mainly things like this, bike reviews. We are going to get back to some tutorial stuff later on in the year, hopefully. It all depends how things goes with, you know, hospitals and stuff like that with the wee one. But my plan is to hopefully try and get the advanced riding done this year. I was hoping to get it done at the start of summer, but that's just not possible at the moment. There's just no way I can do that. So it's going to be 1 or 2 videos a month along the lines of bike reviews, and hopefully a few more product reviews. So we'll see how we get on with that. So I appreciate everybody who's still sticking with the channel. I know I've not been uploading a lot recently, but I have put it up on social media. I've been explaining exactly what's been going on, and yeah, the support and feedback from you guys has been a bit overwhelming, to be honest. So yeah, I appreciate that, dudes, I really do, and I'm going to try my best to get as much content up this year as I can. But yeah, we'll take it from there, and hopefully we'll have, you know, a few more videos over the next kind of month or 2 for you guys. But anyway dudes, hopefully you've enjoyed this little review, and hopefully you've enjoyed looking at the GSX-8S. I'm getting used to saying it. Hopefully you've enjoyed the bike. If you have guys, give it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate every single one of your likes. And of course, if you want to see all my uploads, click on that subscribe button, ring the bell while you're there. That way you'll get notified every time I upload a video. But until next time dudes, stay safe, ride safe, take it easy.